Right. Action, folks. Good morning. I'm Scott Daniels, the communications coordinator rather for the City of Fort Worth Neighborhood Services Department, joined with Juliet Moses, our community development planner, joining to you live from the City of Fort Worth today, simulcasting. So this is the first time ever we're on Facebook, we are on Instagram, and we are on YouTube all at once. And of course, we encourage you viewers to share the video as well, because this video is going to have a bunch of information regarding CDBG. It is the 50th anniversary of the Community Development Block Grant Program. So we want to dive into CDBG and home with Juliet. Juliet, first of all, thanks for coming here in my office here in the City of Fort Worth and talking about CDBG and home.
Absolutely.
What are these programs?
All right, so CDBG stands for Community Development Block Grant. And HOME, the long version of that is our Home Investment Partnerships Program, but we shorten it by calling it HOME. So these are grants that are dispersed to us through the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development for community development and affordable housing purposes.
Okay, so this is money that not only Fort Worth uses, but all around the country, right?
Absolutely.
Okay, so how does this help us as a city?
All right, so when we get these grants, we actually partner with different public service agencies to help us provide services like financial literacy classes, after school programs, affordable housing projects. It's a wide range of things that we do to help benefit specifically the city of Fort Worth.
Okay, and we are going to dive into home in just a bit. In the meantime, we're going to learn everything CDBG with Juliet. We've got Chad LaRoque, our community development manager, standing by. So stay tuned for that. In the meantime, let's dive into these grants and who has access to these funding.
Let's do it. So the grants are actually provided again to our public service agencies through a very competitive request for proposals process, which simply means they have to apply for it. And because of the nature of these grants, they're actually not available to the public. However, our neighbors are the direct beneficiaries of these grants. So,
okay, and anyone can apply? How does this work?
So nonprofit agencies only. These grants do not work with, or this specific grant, CDBG, we don't work with businesses, specifically nonprofits, with the purpose of helping our low to moderate income neighbors here in Fort Worth.
Oh, so Juliet, can you give some examples, some specifics in the city of Fort Worth? People can recognize that maybe something they drive by regularly, or a building, or even a program.
Absolutely. So if you've heard of Meals on Wheels here in Tarrant County, we work with them. Tarrant Area Food Bank, we work with them to help provide meals as well. Tobias Place here in Fort Worth is actually an affordable housing project that actually has 200 units of affordable housing. So this is a whole apartment complex that is only available to our low and moderate income residents. So
yeah, we're showing a slideshow right now of all the different places around town.
Cowan Place.
Yeah,
that's it. That's in Stop 6. That's a really wonderful one in Stop 6 that is specifically for our low to moderate income seniors. So yeah,
everyone taking part, and in every district too.
Absolutely.
How do you determine where the money goes, and where does this money come from?
Yeah, so this money is provided to us through Congress by the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development, and so HUD, yes, for sure. And so we decide what to use this money on through a series of meetings in each district. So every 5 years, we submit a consolidated plan. This is essentially a game plan of how we're going to use this funding to help the residents of Fort Worth. It's an all hands on deck thing. So although our city council actually sets the goals and objectives, they do that through input from you all, from our residents. And so when you hear about these public meetings, it's important that you attend them. That way you can make your voice heard about what it is you want to see done in your community.
Yeah, we just finished up with that program and talking to a lot of residents. There's a great video on our website, so go check that out at fortworthtexas.gov. Okay, so we're talking about how the money gets spent, where the money comes from. How do people get involved?
Great question. So they get involved by going to our public meetings, making yourself become aware of what it is that's actually going on around your city, learning, okay, knowledge is power. It's important that you actually know how this money is being used, where it's being used, how you can have your voice heard. That way, when it comes time to make these decisions on these consolidated plans or even our annual action plan, you can be involved in that as well. And speaking of which, we do have a public meeting coming up next Wednesday, April 10th, at Northwest ISD Administration Building. And so all are welcome to attend. We'll be speaking about our annual action plan, which is a smaller version of our consolidated plan. And so if you're interested in kind of learning more and again, having your voice heard, that's a great meeting for you to attend.
And before we show a video about how this money gets spent, a little deep dive into those programs, I mean, we have to emphasize again, this is federal dollars coming in from outside the city that's benefiting the city.
Absolutely.
How do we compare? How do we stack up against other cities? Do we know? Do we keep tabs on all that?
Yeah, so we actually do pretty well as far as the funding that we receive, but we always know that we need more money. Our city is consistently growing. We're projected to hit 1 million residents by 2027. And so that means that the cost of living is going to increase. The cost of services is going to increase. And so although we do pretty well with how much funding we receive, we obviously need more of it. And so we can all help that happen by having our voices heard, attending our meetings, things like that.
Yeah, and that's what makes CDBG Week so important. Again, this is the 50th year of this program through HUD, and we've been involved as a city for a long time. And you can see on your screen a lot of programs and different functions have gone through this. So again, how do we reiterate, Juliet, before we let you go, of how important CDBG Week is and what this week is all about and what's in store for the rest of the week?
Yeah, so what's in store for the rest of the week? We actually have an amazing event coming up tomorrow at Worth Heights Community Center right here in Fort Worth. And so what we're going to be doing is we're going to have a panel discussion regarding affordable housing. And this is people on this panel are our developers, our housing authority, members of our community development council, who are going to be speaking directly about affordable housing, the barriers, and kind of what's coming up in the city of Fort Worth. So if you've ever had a question about like, what are they actually doing in there with this money? This is a great event for you to attend. And we can't forget about our kids. So we'll have a kids on there as well. And we're also going to feed you. So all you have to do is show up, bring your kids, bring your friends, bring your family, and we will meet you there with food, fun, games, prizes, and of course, lots of education on affordable housing.
You had me at food. Okay.
Yeah.
Juliet, anything else you'd like to add before we show this video and we get the chance to talk to Chad LaRogue from our team with the Community Development Manager?
No, I just encourage everyone to stay informed and get involved. Feel free to go to our website where you can sign up for notifications to kind of figure out what's going on in your city, in your district or the city as a whole. That way you can stay informed.
All right, Juliet, thank you so much. And again, get involved. That's what we're here for. This is CDBG Week. Take a moment to watch this quick video as we continue this Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram live. First time for that. Again, thank you for joining us, and thanks for learning.
The beauty of Fort Worth is not created alone. Some of the great projects around the city are made with the help of the Community Development Block Grant, or CDBG, and Home Investment Partnerships Program, or HOME for short. CDBG and HOME funding comes from the federal government, specifically from the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development, or HUD. Now, you may have heard of CDBG disaster recovery grants, like the $27 million the city received after the 2021 winter storm. But there's big money projects being done right now all over town. Look at the millions of dollars being injected into distressed neighborhoods with our neighborhood improvement program, or how we are doing a better job keeping people off the street with permanent supportive housing like New Leaf, or Turn to Cowan Place Senior Living in Stop 6. These are some of the many local projects that have benefited over the last 5 decades. Yes, this year is the 50th anniversary of CDBG. CDBG and Home Investment Partnerships programs help our growing city in a major way. 70% of this money has to help low to moderate incomes, with the rest of the funding to help with disaster relief or other fixes. So whether it's the Band Along helping clean Lake Como, or helping homeowners with the Priority Repair Program projects, or Home Buyer Assistance Program that can be found in each and every district in our city. The City of Fort Worth prides itself on working together. Sometimes help from outside goes a long way. Here's to the next 50 years.
Daniels, your communications coordinator for the City of Fort Worth Neighborhood Services, and joined with me now is Chad LaRoque, our community development manager for the City of Fort Worth Neighborhood Services. Chad, thanks for coming in.
You bet.
And you're going to be talking about home and how that relates to CDBG. Home, well, with a different acronym, it doesn't really spell out home, right?
Right. Yeah, home actually stands for Home Investments Partnership Grant, so it's not a true acronym.
Okay, so what is home? What is this?
So homes are a grant that we use mainly for new housing. So we wouldn't do any rehab with home funds, but we do a lot of multifamily new construction, and we also have our community housing development organizations, which are CHODOs for short, that will do some single family housing.
Okay, any specific projects you guys have done recently or are in the current process of doing that people can point out?
Yeah, absolutely. A big one is the in conjunction with the Choice Neighborhood Implementation Grant in East Fort Worth off of Rosedale, would be District 5. We have about a 6-year commitment of home funds for 5 different multifamily projects. So Calvin Place just recently opened at the end of the 2023. And Hughes House, which is phase 2, is under construction, and we hope to have Babbers Manor under construction and close sometime this year, which will bring about an additional 300 to 400 units in that area.
Okay, more housing, which is important, especially right now, where we're seeing a housing crisis all over the country, and especially here in the City of Fort Worth. As much as we've grown, it's become one of the larger cities in the country. Can we talk about how important this federal funding is to all of this?
Yeah, very important. If we didn't get the home funds, there would be no other resources in the City of Fort Worth at this time, besides outside of any type of private donations for affordable housing. So it's very important, and we usually receive about $3 million a year as far as allocation.
Okay, Chad, can we talk about what you do on a day-to-day basis and how this CDBG week affects you and your team here in the City of Fort Worth?
So my team consists of, I have 4 coordinators that work with grants. That would be Leticia, Leah, Justin, and Diane.
A shout out.
Yes, a shout out. And I also have one other one, which is Sarah, who works with the Neighborhood Empowerment Zone. And I'd be remiss not to mention Virginia, our admin assistant, who keeps us all in line.
All right.
So yeah, everyone has different projects that they're working on. We work through the Housing Finance Corporation, where we will partner up with private developers a lot of times for the development of multifamily projects. And then with the grant funds, where we're usually working on contracts, closings, environmental reviews, important part of it. So there's a lot of moving pieces for each project, and they're usually a 2 to 3 year from start to finish.
And what can people expect moving forward?
Well, we have our housing implementation plan, which was released in August of 2023. So I would recommend people go online and look and read that. That has some recommendations for the future, such as how we can maybe get additional funding, what additional resources would be available to us, because we just don't have enough money. And so we need to find capital to build more housing. As was mentioned earlier, Fort Worth's one of the fastest growing cities in the nation, so we're just not able to keep up.
All right, Chad, I'm almost ready to let you off the hot seat, but first, what's your favorite part of CDBG week? And this being the 50th year of CDBG, how important is all this?
It's very important. Folks need to get out and participate. I mean, this is money for the community, and it's, you can help determine how the money's spent. You just need to get out, attend public hearings, go to the council meetings, and get involved and brush up on the knowledge and what all we offer.
All right, a call to action from Chad LaRoque, our community planner. And Chad, anything else you'd like to add before we wrap up this live broadcast?
No, just thank you for having me. And like I said, hope everyone can get out and get on our website and contact us if you have any questions.
Yeah, stay informed. This is a call to action. And again, we're always here if you have any questions, and come meet us out in the public in our forums and at CDBG week. So we hope to see you at our events throughout the rest of this week. Wrapping this up, I'm Scott Daniels. And for the City of Fort Worth, we thank you for joining us. Please share this video even beyond this week, because these funds matter. They come from all over the country, but we can spend them wisely the way you want them to be spent.